Here are the best ways to make money in 2026. Here's the thing. I run a marketing agency over here in Australia, and what I do is I sell high ticket products to businesses so then I can then end up helping them make more money. Here's the thing. You think, okay, well, you only run a marketing agency. You haven't done the rest of these. Funnily enough, these are all the stuff that I've started before I actually ended up starting my marketing agency. So what we're going to do today is actually go through each business model individually given my past experience, and then I'm just going to explain to you why I rank them their certain tiers and why they are like they are. So yeah, firstly, let's go into high ticket sales. So high ticket sales is a great business model to start off with. It's not really one that it is sustainable long term, but it's essentially like run your own business. It's like you get all the lead flow, you get all the sales, you get all the cash, but it's as limited to what you can produce, what you can actually act, and how you can help them move forward as a business. The thing is, when it comes to high ticket sales, yes, it's a useful skill to have, but you learn basically just being a sales rep, which being a sales rep has a massive, massive limit. Whereas if you're the guys who's actually running the company, you get so much more benefit and you get so much more. Obviously, you got to worry about the fulfillment, but that's what makes it more sustainable long term because you have to deal with all the stresses, you got to deal with all the pain, you've got to deal with all the shit that comes your way. So yeah, here's the thing: I rank high ticket sales over at C because of those factors and because it's yes, it's sustainable long term, but it isn't the most rewarding. And also, for any of you guys who are interested, click the link below, claim your free call. We can have a bit of a chit chat, see whether it's actually suitable for us to work together because I'm very particular in who I work with. So yeah, click the link below, book your free call. We can have a bit of a chit chat, see if we actually should be working together. Next one. So the next one is investing. A lot of people have a lot of love and hate towards investing. Yes, investing is a bit of a mixed bag because investing is very much you need to use a very, very different skill than business. Investing is very, very bad in the beginning because it's a slow compound effect. You're slowly getting up your wealth. You're slowly moving forward. You're slowly starting to attack it. But the thing is investing, like let's just say you start off at 20 and then once you're over the age of 60, it's so much more rewarding. I'd recommend only starting investing now if you're making, let's just say, over 10 to 20 grand a month. Because other than that, you should really just be focusing on your skills. And honestly, investing is not the greatest beginner friendly business model. I've done investing myself. I've done investing. I've done crypto investing. I've done every type of investing under the sun besides real estate. I understand what the game's like. It's a very slow process. It's a 20-year game, but is not recommended if you want fast cash. Yes, you can more than make fast cash from investing, but you got to know where to pick. You got to be in the game. You got to have the skills and the ability because it's like, why would someone want to start investing if they don't play it for the long run? I understand life is full of long-term gains, but we are focusing on what is it like in 2026. And honestly, also coming from my perspective in Australia, investing is honestly losing at the moment. Investing has gone down because when it comes to the rates, when it comes to basically people going in, liquidation to the market, there's a lot of other issues that are going on, especially in the Australian market. That's not even including the US or the EU market, which are actually creating a lot of uncertainty for investments, but also will mean it'll be a more positive turn towards the end of the year slash like early to like late, well, more so between mid to late next year. So yeah, investing when it comes to making money in 2026 is honestly a F tier. It's amazing for long term, but if you're wanting to create quick cash and if you want to create a business and get a skill set that actually rewards you long term, I would not recommend start going with investing. And the only reason why I'd not recommend going with investing, you need to make more than 10 grand a month and you need to be having a business to your name, to be completely honest. Next one, crypto. Everyone hears all the hype. Everyone hears, oh, I got to do this. Oh, I got to do that because crypto is the way to go. Yes, crypto is amazing. I've had days where I've made 60%. I've had days where it's just been crazy. Like I've got communities of people who are just like, buy this one, buy this one, buy this one. Or yeah. But the thing is with crypto, it's very high risk and also it's very unregulated because especially once you start including mixers, once you start including groups, once you start including pump and dump schemes, unless you're focusing on the majors, which is like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and even if you mess around with alt and memes, that's where it starts to deteriorate. And that's where obviously you can go up towards the airdrops, which I've also played with, short term, which I've played with, which is actually honestly really, really good fun. And same thing with the investing, which is more so my bread and butter with crypto. But it is honestly not, it's the same thing as investing. It's not worth playing unless you got more money. Yes, you can make more money in one trade of crypto than what you can make in a business in like a year. Yes, that is possible. But You are limited due to your capital, due to your time, due to your systems, and due to your stability. And also, let alone that's not including the country's regulations and difficulties for getting your assets out. Because let's just say you live in somewhere like Australia, it's a bit more difficult to get them out. Let's just say you live somewhere in the US where it's easier, where you got crypto exchanges, where you got other banks, and it can make it a lot easier. But yeah, honestly, to begin with, if you guys want to learn crypto, I would not recommend it, because you also do need to have a background in that whole psychological element. Because that whole psychological element, when it comes to the macro and the micro levels, makes such a massive difference. So yeah, crypto is going. Oh, I'm gonna put crypto at C tier, because it's also like, if you combine high ticket sales plus crypto, it is a deadly combo. Then the next one, we're gonna go with Shopify. Shopify and e-commerce. I've had a lot of experience with this. It can go very, very well, or it can go very, very bad. It goes only one of two ways. No matter what you think, hey, I'm going to be able to sell this, this, and this. It's also like, hey, what supply do I have? What supply chain? Who am I dealing with? Why are they trying to buy it? How can I make my store better? How can I make my CTR better? How can I make my landing page better? How can I make all these other elements better? It's just so many small factors that you got to really consider. And it's like, another thing you got to consider is what happens if your supplier doesn't actually deliver the stock. You are screwed. You are screwed. And it's like, I've had one time when I was starting a clothing brand. Obviously, we don't need any more of those. I had a time when I was starting a clothing brand, and it's like, I spent like $3,500 on marketing, and I spent $7,000 on the project, and just absolutely flopped. And that's not including my Tron store or my Home Deco store before. And it's like, once you realize you need to actually be like locked in every single day, understanding the media buy process, which is more complicated than what most people think, understanding the campaign, what makes people tick, why do they want to buy, what's happening in the situation at the moment, what's the market, why is the market like that? You've got to take all these factors into consideration. And honestly, it's like, it's going to take you at least another 6 months to learn it, because the thing is, when it comes to ads, when it comes to content, it is always consistently changing. It is always changing. It is always moving forward. It's like a bit of a dynamic. Probably the best way of saying it is that it's always changing. It's never going to stop. And also, the buyer of psychology of people gets more and more complicated. It's like, honestly, unless you've got like a mad product, there's like no point. And that's why ecom goes into D tier, but also it is very, very profitable if you do it right. Next one, AI automation. AI is getting more and more bottlenecks every day. I love AI. I use AI in my businesses. I use AI like everywhere. But if you run an agency, you've got more constraints, you've got multiple agents, you've got more automations, and you've got to keep on moving things forward, because it's like, hey, if I explicitly design this for this type of business, something's going to break, something's not going to work out, there's going to be problems. And obviously it's the same with every single business, but also it's like, hey, it's like, AI, listen to me, understand me. Okay, what can we do to move forward? And it's like talking to a brick wall sometimes, because it's like AI doesn't understand the situation. AI doesn't have the intelligence, well, it has the intelligence, but it doesn't have the social or I wouldn't even say strategical, it just doesn't have the full comprehension of what's going on, because it can only read the information that you give it, and it's only limited off of so much information, which honestly keeps it being held back. If you want to scale quickly, go with AI. But the biggest problem is with AI, it works out well. Same thing with agents. You're limited by your supply. You're limited by your code. You're limited by how much information can you put into it to consult certain problems, or how much of an automation switch you can do to consult certain problems. That's why I'm putting AI over in A tier, just because there's a lot more room to go with AI, and AI is only just beginning. Let's go with fitness coaching. So fitness coaching, this was actually one of my first businesses that I started off, was fitness coaching. So fitness coaching is a very volatile ball game. And I know you're thinking, it's online coaching, it might be in person. It doesn't matter. Fitness is an emotional want. Someone wants to be fit, someone wants to be in shape. It is because they are lacking that core drive, or that core understanding to understand, why am I not being fit? Why am I not doing this? Obviously, when it comes to those high ticket clients, it's worth it, because you're then able to help them out. You're then able to help them move forward, and obviously control their whole life when it comes to their fitness and every single element of their life. But you're only so limited as much your skills. Like, yes, you can get people into bodybuilding. Yes, you can get people fit for the Olympics. Yes, you can do so many things, but it's all based on an emotional buyer cycle. Like, yes, you're able to help them, but you don't change their life in any way possible. And well, obviously, like, I mean, monetarily, whereas the rest of these businesses do. It's very, as I said, it's a very emotional sell. You've got to very much position them being like, hey, if you don't do this, your wife's going to leave you. Hey, if you don't do this, this is going to happen. And that's why fitness coaching honestly goes at D tier. There are some amazing fitness coaches out there, but I don't see much going on with fitness coaching. Obviously, it does help when you do guides and courses for that sort of stuff because it makes it a lot easier. But yeah, next one, video editing. Video editing is what I like to call, or content agency is the bread and butter before marketing. You've got to understand a lot of psychological factors. There's a lot of creativity. There's a lot of thinking and plot. There's a lot of stuff you've got to understand before you move forward. There's a lot of stuff you've got to do. Video editing is a very industrial skill, is probably the best way of putting it, or mechanical. It's very, like some of those very mechanically sharp video editors perform amazingly. Like if you see someone like Sam Harborn, they perform amazingly. They created their own format. They created their own problems. They created their own, stuff that they was trying to solve. But video editing, it's a double-edged sword because if you also go back to the over-edited Indian videos, you will not get any sales. You'll only get low-tier Indians who want to buy your shit. Video editing is like any skill. You can scale it. It's a service, but it's a little bit more difficult because with video editing, you can't really get away with charging those higher ticket prices unless you understand your audience, unless you understand your problem, who you're trying to help, or unless you want to provide it as like a coaching program. As I said, it's very, very limiting to what you can do and how you can actually approach things. But honestly, the value for what it provides to businesses will put this up to B tier for me, just because of how much it is used in marketing, and it's like the base for what I do. Next one. And honestly, if you guys want to learn more, click the link down below in the description, claim your free discovery call. We can have a bit of a chat, see if we actually align and see, whether or not we should move forward. I've only got 5 slots left for the month, and then we can move forward from there. But yeah, let's just jump straight into the next one. Real estate investing. This is the all big all end all of Australia. This is what I dedicated my teens towards building up until I had my reset. This is what I build my teens up towards. Because I was believed the lie that real estate investing is the best thing to do. Property, look how many taxes there are. Yes, unless you can have it under like certain laws or under a certain sort of restriction, unless you can use certain types of like HOA loans or whatever, you're very, very limited for what you can and cannot do. Property is a great wealth generator, but it isn't great for earning money, especially over the next 5 to 10 years. If you want to start now, that's great. Start as soon as possible. I would recommend that because, as I said, it's investing. It's a 40, 50, 60-year game that you're playing. You sort of treat it like a relationship. It's like if you want to get a girlfriend, you basically want that sorted out as soon as possible. And then you keep on building. So then you can basically be together for like forever. You essentially need to do the same thing for real estate investing. The good thing is, though, you are able to get about 80 to 120 grand per annum, especially given like what it's like in Australia in the current market. If you have enough income, or if not more, if you have enough income, position the tax correctly, and you're actually able to move forward. So yeah, real estate investing when it comes to 2026 is going to D tier. And also the thing is currently at the moment, this is the perfect time to buy because the property market's currently dropping at 10%, and we are expecting another 10% drop in the next few months. Then we go over to day trading. Day trading, it's very, very similar to crypto. It's very volatile if you don't have the right systems, processes, or things in place so you're actually able to move forward. Here's the thing. When it comes to day trading, you've got to be very particular. You've got to understand your entries. You got to understand when you enter, when you exit. How do you actually need to attack the problem? Because if you think about it, you're versing everyone else. You're versing everyone else out there. It is a very technical, very psychological, very, very draining skill, but it is so worth it and it rewards you so much. But the only problem is that 99% of traders never made it. It's like me saying, hey, I've made over 60% in a day. I made like 120% in a day, which I've done that. But it's like, hey, if you're like a trader, most people never hit that. Most people never honestly hit that. And that's obviously due to their skill, maybe due to their intelligence or risk tolerance or not even understanding of what is being implemented on the micro level. But trading is rewarding once you have enough people who are fully dedicated towards it. So the thing is that it's not, you guys don't have enough of a network. You guys don't have enough of a group. You guys don't have enough people around you who understand the game. It's like, I've got a mate who made, I think it was about 15 grand in one day just selling copper because he saw a Chinese copper mine like explode. And it's like, yeah, made 15 grand in one day through one trade because he traded copper. And day trading goes up to C tier for me. Oh, sorry, not C, B tier for me. Just because it allows more of a form and more of a scope. I've also had times where I've probably lost about 130 odd grand total. But yeah, it's a good fun. It's honestly good fun once you have the right systems and tools in place. Obviously, I'm not in that position at the moment, but yeah, it's good fun. And then we go to online coaching. Online coaching is one of the best businesses out there, especially if you want quick cash flow, positioned right, move forward, and just keep on attacking with the content in the correct type of way. So addressing your pain points, addressing what to do, addressing how to attack, addressing what to think. And also it's like, hey, based on your mindset, what do you need to do? How do you need to move forward? What do you need to say? It's all very, very competitive, but it is very, very rewarding because it does provide you the framework for moving forward later on, which makes such a drastic difference in the way you speak, the way you position, the way you understand content, the way you understand high ticket sales, the way you actually move things forward. And also the thing is that you can get high ticket sales through running your own business. You can become a closer, you can become a setter through selling your own product. Yes, obviously you got to worry about fulfillment because there's 3 stages to it, but it is honestly so rewarding because you build up your personal brand as well as your own business brand, while also bringing other people up with you who are either beneath you, above you, or on the same level as what you are. So online coaching honestly goes at A tier. And then my personal favorite, marketing agency. Marketing agency is the best business out there in 2026. Yes, also, I do understand that it's very much like this at times, but also remember, you can also get to period of times like this, which is just because you're getting more and more people understanding what you do. And also it is a very linear growth process. It isn't like SaaS, it isn't like anything else, but it's very, very linear, which at least makes it more predictable. You can then work out your P&Ls. You can then work out what problems you have. How can I fix this? What do I need to do? How do I need to say? How can I position this in a certain way to make people to buy? It's all very much a psychological level. You need to understand what makes people tick, what makes people want to buy, what makes people want to move forward, because most people are stuck there. Most people are like, it's too risky for me to move forward. It is way too risky for me to understand. It is way too risky for me to, pay someone $5,000 a month. Such a big deal. Oh, whatever. And then pay for ads on top of that. But it's like, honestly, once you understand how to lock in on the organic and also on the paid side, it makes your life a bunch easier. And also the thing is as well, once you understand how to do emails correctly, then going to make like a 25 ROAS, or they're then going to make it even greater, 2 or 3x. Because it's like, what happens if I told you paid $5,000 for a skill, then it gave you the ability to sell products which start off at like 2-3 grand a month, or if not more, if you're ballsy, you can start off at 5 grand a month. And then you also charge them retainer, not retainer. Let's just say you also charge them. Let's just say, hey, this is what it is. I also charge 10% rev share on everything you get because you understand the game, you understand the theory, you understand what makes the customers tick. And and you're like, hey, I know what I can get them to do to buy. This is how I'm going to do this. And this is how we're going to move forward. Marketing is very simple because you learn high ticket sales, you learn copy, you learn content, you learn emails, you learn paid ads, all in one, all into one. And also the thing is that you get rewarded for making people more money. And if you're in the game of making people more money, people are then going to trust you more. People are then going to want to work with you. People are then going to want to be with you long term. And also you sell high ticket, which means once you end up, let's just say, getting a few sales in, you've already made a quota of 20, 30K. All you need is like 6 sales, which is about 24 to 40 sales, or 26 sales, let's just say, about 40 sales calls in a month, then you've already made like 30, 40K. And honestly, once you apply what you know from marketing, it's then going to make all of these so much easier, because the thing is, once you start marketing, you can then start to, let's just say, specialize in AI automation. And you can start working with coaches because then you understand it. Or you can go, okay, cool, I want to only work with day traders because I want to help them sell their product. Or how can we make this video editor make more money? How can I make this sales rep more money? How can I make this investor more money? What is this Shopify store not doing that's making it more money? What's happening with this, what's happening with this fitness coach? And also what's happening with the investor who wants to essentially turn into an investing coach? Same thing, well, it's real estate. Same thing with investing. You are literally the bridge between life and death between every single business. You have the power, you have the responsibility, and you are able to move forward. Marketing is by far the best business model to start in 2026. By far. You get high ticket sales, minimal expenses. You get to move forward. You get to literally continually keep on attacking the board. So then you're able to basically make yourself more money, make your family more money, while also understanding, hey, I can see what bottlenecks are within the business. I can see what else I need to do to move forward. But yeah, marketing is by far the best business model out there, and it's easily S tier. Even though it's one of the oldest business models as of time, it is easily S tier. So yeah, that's it from me. I'll catch you guys in the next one. But before you guys go, I'd give this video a watch on your screen here. I make 25K a month, only working 5 hours a day. But yeah, give that video a watch on your screen over here. And other than that, I'm out of here. Ciao.